Value Off-Road Series got off to a flying start at Lake Geneva. Over 250 entries in 12 different classes of racing. Todd Attic made it 6 in a row in Class 910. It's just one of 4 classes that you'll be seeing on ESPN today. Another is Class 13. Dan Vandenheuvel charged to the front of the non-production pickup class. Lots of horsepower, lots of speed. And in Class 11S, the entry level of the sport, Larry Beyer put his foot down. 3 cars on the outside take the win. And in Class 1/1600, guess who made it a double? Yes, Todd Attic won twice back at Lake Geneva. We're at Anago. The battle is joined at the True Value Off-Road Series. Don't get upset. ESPN, the world leader in motorsports coverage, welcomes you to round number 2 of the True Value Off-Road Series. Today, we're in Anago, Wisconsin. Hello again, everybody. I'm Marty Reed, working alongside with Ivan the Ironman Stewart. Those grandstands behind us will fill up momentarily as we get ready for very exciting off-road racing. And if you were with us for round number 1, you know just how exciting the True Value Off-Road Series can be.
Well, it really is, Marty. We got to remember that it's really a driver's class. 11S and 1/1600, those guys have limited horsepower, and they really got to be drivers to get around this track efficiently.
Then we've also got 2 unlimited power plants, basically, in the Class 13 non-production trucks and Class 910. And in that class, Todd Attic has stepped to the forefront. He won at Lake Geneva. And with more on that story, let's go to the 3rd member of our broadcast team. Here's Rick Johnson.
Marty, not only did Todd win the opening round at Lake Geneva, he won the last 5 races in 1993. Todd, that's 6 in a row. What do you feel is your strength over the other drivers?
Well, Rick, I think the main difference between me and some of the other drivers is that I do all my own engine work and chassis work. It enables me to try different things, and so far it's been working to my advantage. I think last year I won 5 in a row towards the end of the season, and through the winter we basically just left the car alone, and we were able to pick up a win in the first race of this year. So we got a good streak going, and we hope to keep it up.
Marty, there's 13 other drivers that want to break that string today.
Well, thanks, Rick. And you can see by the ominous-looking clouds that we have a threat of rain here. In fact, they say we are definitely going to get wet. It's just a matter of how much. The temperature comfortable at 80 degrees. Hopefully, we'll get lucky and the rain will stay away. Now, let's take a look at this layout here at Anago, Ivan.
Well, Marty, remember, we're on an existing racetrack, and there's something we're doing new is we're doing a rolling start at this long straightaway on your left-hand side. Jump back off. Around the big sweeper, jump into a big mogul section. A lot of passing going on, a lot of action. Around the backside, we get into a lot of loamy, tight corners, good passing in that area. I think it's going to be a fantastic track for us, Marty.
So that's the layout here at the Langlade County Fairgrounds in Anago, Wisconsin. And now the parade lap for Class 1/1600. You get an idea just how great a crowd we have on hand. And as these vehicles get ready to line up for the start of the race, let's take a look at Class 1/1600, Ivan.
Marty, they're Volkswagen-type engines, 1600cc. They use a restrictor plate, minimum weight of 1,300 pounds. They make just about 80 horsepower.
And again, this is one of the entry-level classes. Now let's take a look at the True Value starting field. Todd Attic will be in the number 707. He is from Dixon, Illinois. Greg Smith from Hopkins, Minnesota, at age 37. He'll be in the number 792. Mike Seafelt from Sussex, Wisconsin. He's 24 years old. He'll be in the 797. 633, that's Kerry Bowles. Kerry is from Belgium, Wisconsin. He's 32 years old. And Mark Steinhardt from Rhinelander, Wisconsin. He's 29 years old. He'll be in the number 713. Bill Scott from Interlaken, Michigan. He's 37 years old, and he'll be in the number 624. Dan Badu in the number 705. Dan calls Saginaw, Michigan home. Now, take a look at the rest of this starting field, and let's talk about the rolling start, Ivan.
Well, I think it's going to be really good for these cars. The fact that they're not bunched up together, they're not going to be running into the back of each other, I think it's going to be great for the start of this race.
You can see they are lining up 4 abreast. This is the first track that has ever tried a rolling start in the SOTA World Series of off-road racing, and it should be extremely interesting as they dive for turn 1.
Boy, what a field we've got. Again, the start is so critical here.
17 vehicles. There is the green flag, and here they come. 2 jumps that they'll be heading for. Look at this crowd. They're on their feet. And as we head for turn 1, just sit back and we'll let it sort itself out. As they come through turn 2, that is Mike Seefeld taking the early lead. Look at the traffic behind them. Coming through the mogul section for the first time. Not a lot of suspension on these vehicles. Oh, some contact back there in 4th, 5th, and 6th.
No, they don't, Mark. They probably don't have 8 or 10 inches of wheel travel compared to 20 or 20 inches of the big trucks.
This is turn number 4. Well, and it looks like Greg Smith is going to get around Mike Seefeld, and Todd Addig also gets through there, so let's reset it for you. It's Greg Smith first, then Todd Addig in 2nd, and Mike Seefeld in 3rd place as they come up onto the oval for the first time.
Look at the wet ground over. This is the guys that are always heading for that dry piece of ground, something that's dry and hard that can really get some traction on.
Oh, and Addig makes a nice move on the inside of Greg Smith to take the lead.
Just watch Todd Addig now. He's going to try and head for that dry piece of ground. He's cut way to the inside. He hits the barrel. I don't think it's going to pay off for him. He's a little cut it in too slow.
Well, but look at Greg Smith. He took the outside line, and yes, it is going to pay off for Greg Smith as he is retaking the lead here in Class 1 1600. Todd Addig bumped back to 2nd.
These guys have, like we talked about, they have very little horsepower, so they're continually trying to keep that engine revved up just to the maximum peak of horsepower. There
are the 4 top spots as they come by to take the green flag, signifying lap number 1 is completed. And action back there for 5th place. That is Mark Kruger in 4th right now, and can't make out. Look at all the mud. Cannot make out who that is in 5th right now, but it looks like Kruger is going to hold on to the position. Down through turn number 2, dropping off of the dirt track oval and onto the rhythm section.
Let's see his cars are handling here, Marty. This is always interesting to me to see how these little cars negotiate these big bumps. They all get through there very well.
Let's reset it for you. The leader right now is Greg Smith. There is Todd Addig in 2nd, and the 2 of them seem to be stretching it out over 3rd place.
Watch Todd Addig. He's taking a different line. He's trying to dive underneath, take a long approach to this corner, and try and drive up to the next corner.
And there is Dan Badeau. He has gotten past Mike Seefeld for 3rd. So Badeau making a statement now as he's trying to make his way to the front of the pack here at the Langley County Fairgrounds.
One of the tricky things about driving these cars, Marty, remember the engines in the back, so you're always picking up an inherent push. They're always driving these cars trying to get the back end around the corner, which can be really difficult when it's muddy like this.
Well, and one of the differences that we should point out, like, for example, the Mickey Thompson Stadium Series, which is also seen here on ESPN, they use turning brakes, but not so here.
No, they don't. You're right. And it just makes it real. Until the track dries out, it can be real frustrating to get that car around a corner.
So it looks like right now Badeau is being able to open up that lead. Now we're back up front. That is Greg Smith in front of Todd Addig. Oof, hard hit through there. And notice how they're coming to that far side. It looks like they're trying to bypass that rough section as much as possible.
Well, they do. They try and get, like I say, we have very little wheel travel in these cars, so they're trying to hit the minimum amount of bump they can get on that race car.
So Greg Smith maintains his lead. I thought I saw maybe a lap vehicle coming into play here already. Yes, one of the slower vehicles making its way around the track. Can't make out who that is, but not being a factor in this race for the lead between Greg Smith and Todd Addig. And again, Addig going wide.
He does. He changes the apex all the time. And I think he may pay off because he's going to see how much, let's see how much more drive he has up to this corner if he gains anything on Greg. I believe he does, Marty.
Greg Smith and Todd Addig. They're duking it out here in Anago, Wisconsin. Stay with us. We'll be back with more of the True Value Off-Road Series. Marty Reed, Ivan Stewart, Rick Johnson with you at Anago, Wisconsin for the True Value Off-Road Series. This is the battle for the lead. It is Greg Smith in front of Todd Addig, getting around lap traffic cleanly.
Well, I tell you what, Todd is not giving up. He is staying right in there. You know that he is eating a lot of dirt and a lot of mud right now, Marty.
3 laps remaining here at Anago, and look at how soupy this track. We've had sporadic rain off and on all weekend, and these guys are having to deal with it.
I just see a puff of smoke coming out of Greg's car, so that could be an indication he's having some sort of a heating problem.
So as they make their way into turn 4, this is an off-camber turn. It can get real dangerous.
Well, it really is. We had a lot of problems here. It gets dug up. Guys gets real loose and loamy in there. We had quite a few rolling.
Now, this is a great tire battle. We always talk about the wars on the manufacturer's side. Goodyear with Greg Smith leading right now in front of BFG and Todd Attic.
Boy, Todd likes this different line, doesn't he? I think he's just real adamant on staying with that. He feels like he's gaining on Greg every time, and I believe he does pick up a little bit of time.
It looks like both of them made the right tire selection, however, as they're both making their way through these corners. I mean, the margin basically has stayed the same.
It really has. This is really a competitive race. This is good racing right here. This is entry level, Marty. These guys don't have a lot of horsepower. They're really, really driving these cars.
That's Kerry Bowles leading Mark Steinhardt. That's the battle for 6th on the race course. Back to the leaders. That's lap traffic on the left. The two of them coming through on the right-hand portion of your screen. Greg Smith. Oh, and he has contact. Skalitsky gets into him, and oh, what a great save by both drivers.
Marty, we keep noticing that smoke coming out of Greg Smith's car. Now, what happens is the air intake gets clogged with mud, and that makes that engine overheat. That's why you see a lot of these Volkswagen motors smoking. And I believe that's what could be happening to Greg's car.
Yeah, because most everybody who knows anything about cars knows that Volkswagen motors do not have radiators. So here is the battle for the lead, and again, Attic still liking that outside line. Is it going to pay off? So far, it seems to allow him to reel up just a little bit through this section, but then by the end of this straightaway, Greg Smith has got it opened back up to about 2 to 3 car lengths.
I'm sure Greg knows he's back there, and he's not going to need many opportunities, but I tell you what, Todd has enough race experience. If anybody can get by, it will be Todd Attic.
Well, when they come past the starter's position one more time, we will be on the white flag lap. So they make this long last turn. It puts them back up on the speedway section, and Greg Smith way on the inside.
Yeah, big error right there, I'm afraid. It looks to me like maybe Todd, if he can carry more speed down the straightaway, he could get him.
So there you saw the white flag, and here we go on the final lap. Can Greg Smith hold on to the win over Todd Attic? That is lap traffic, the first 2 cars in your screen. Then on the right side of the screen, here come the leaders. Does Attic have anything left? You know, he names his car the Attic Terminator. Well, he's going to have to find some termination point here if he's going to make this race go his way.
We'll see right now if it's going to pay off. Traffic will pay off. It's going to be right now. Ooh, and he is close.
And boy, Greg Smith manages to sneak underneath the lap traffic. There's Todd Attic. Attic trying to catch him. They are almost nose to tail now as they come back onto the oval.
Let's see if he tries this line again. And he is. He's way to the outside. He's going to cut this apex way inside, hoping he can carry more speed down the straightaway.
Now it's a drag race over the jump. They touch. Who's going to make it to the corner first? And Greg Smith is pounding the steering wheel. So you know exactly who's taking the lead, Todd Attic.
Todd Attic kept watching and kept watching. See, and you know he's thinking, I know I can get this guy. I know I can get him. I'm going to set him up, and this is the place to do it. And he made it happen. It was a great move.
Now they split lap traffic, and it's a drag race again to the final turn. Todd Attic in front of Greg Smith. Oh, no, and he makes a big mistake there.
You cannot do that with Todd Attic. You get a little sideways, you just let him drive away. I'm afraid he's not going to catch him that way.
Todd Attic is going to take the checkered flag. He leads the most important lap, the last one, the only one that he led this entire race over Greg Smith. What a great comeback for Todd Attic. Stay with us. When we come back to the True Value Off-Road Series, we'll talk to our winner. Back at the True Value Off-Road Series in Anago, Wisconsin, here are the final results in Class 1/1600 as Todd Attic and Greg Smith finish 1-2 in a dramatic showdown. And Rick Johnson's made his way down to victory lane with our winner.
An unbelievable race, a pass on the last lap. Todd, you saved the best for last.
Yeah, I tell you, I was pushing the guy in front of me there for the whole race, and with these cars, we're so close, especially with the driving talent and the horsepower. Me and him were just dead even, and I was just waiting, picking my lines and trying to put a lot of heat on him. He made a little mistake and got a little wide, and I ducked right underneath him. I tell you, the BF Goodrich and Budweiser, car ran great. We're happy to be here today, I'll tell you that.
So Todd makes it 1 for 1, and we'll get to see him again later in Class 9-10 to see if he can make it another double. And right now, though, we're getting ready for Class 13 action as they parade out onto the race course. Here's what they're all about.
Well, Marty, these are all two-wheel drive pickups. Engines are mounted in the front of the drivers, all you have to be, and they make just about 500 horsepower. Lots and lots and lots of power.
Here's the Chevrolet starting field. Dan Vandenhoevel from Appleton, Wisconsin. He'll be in the number 13, 77. Then it's Bob Flanagan from Heartland, Wisconsin, 35 years old. He'll be in the 1369. David Marks in the 1312. He's from Watoma, Wisconsin. He's 28 years old. Bob Silloway from Ripon, Wisconsin, 39 years old. We'll be watching him in truck number 1393. And in 1305, it'll be Don Gregoire from Whitewater, Wisconsin. He's 33 years old. John Schultz is 46. Park City, Illinois is his home. He'll be in 1399. And then Bruce Schultz will be in the 1348. Kenosha, Wisconsin is home. He's 47 years old. And Ron James in the 1323. He's 33 years old. Shelton, Wisconsin is home. Here's the rest of the starting field, and we have a huge field here, 21 trucks in Class 13.
Boy, Marty, I tell you what, we get all these guys off without an accident, we're going to be really doing something, believe me.
Now remember, this is a rolling start. The first time that these guys have ever done this, 3 wide coming around this final quarter, and a very slow pace being set by the pace truck. We'll wait for the pace truck to pull off, and then for the green flag. As you're right, Ivan, this will be amazing if all 21 trucks make it through.
Especially when we see the water down here in the straightaways after the jumps. These guys can really get sideways. They're light trucks. They're a lot of horsepower. Let's hope they keep it straight.
And the green flag flies. We're just going to sit back and let it sort out. Enjoy it. Now that's Pat Brown going through, and then another Steve Irish ends up spinning around as well. So no, we did not make it through. We didn't think we would with 21 trucks.
Marty, looks like Don Gregoire is leading, Ed Schultz is second, and it looks to me like Dan Vandenheuvel's third.
So as they make it through turn number 3, the best battle on the race course appears to be for second place. There's Vandenheuvel trying to go the outside of Ed Schultz. Can he make it work? And then Schultz on the inside from 4th place trying to duck underneath as well. 2
different lines in that corner. That's an interesting corner up there. It's loose on the outside. Looks like a little bit tighter on the inside. The guys are taking advantage of that. We want to go on that inside loop where it's tighter.
Oh, are we going to make it 3 abreast coming back onto the oval? Luckily they didn't. That's Gregoire in first. Ed Schultz second. Contact there between Ed Schultz and Dan Vandenheuvel. And Vandenheuvel slips back to 4th. Oh, and he's way wide.
Real slick here, Marty. This is where the challenge is. Whoa, get somebody off the side of the track.
That's Vandenheuvel. He's gone from one extreme to the other as far as the sides of the course and finds himself right now in 5th place. In fact, there's the top 5.
Again, this being 2-wheel drive class, you know, the mud is a real challenge to keep the truck straight.
So Gregoire, there's Schultz, then 3rd place Schultz. Don't get them confused. 4th place is Flanagan, and Vandenheuvel is 5th. And boy, Gregoire is beginning to open up a lead. In fact, now the battle seems to be for 2nd place between Ed Schultz and Bruce Schultz.
Let's see if they take advantage of the dry track here now. They should be able to find some dry parts of the track and stay on it. Yeah, that corner's looking pretty good now, Marty.
Ed Schultz holding on to 2nd place through the rhythm section, and now we're going to see which one has the better suspension.
That's where it's all about, off-road racing, to get that suspension dialed in.
Oh, and look at Schultz. He just flew past him. So Schultz has moved into 2nd place. Ed Schultz is now in 3rd. And they're both trying to trace that man that just went through your screen, Gregoire. Oh, no, a spinner. That is Steve Irish, as he has got a barrel stuck underneath the vehicle, and that is going to create a major problem for him.
That's what's racing the back of the truck up, and he just can't get any traction, Marty.
So there's Gregoire pulling through turn number 7, then Schultz, and Schultz is under attack from Dennis Verdon. So Verdon has sort of moved his way up into this race. In fact, Schultz now getting sideways there, so Verdon has moved into 3rd.
Dennis Verdon has been moving well. I've been watching him back there. He's coming through traffic really well.
That's Bob Flanagan in 4th, then Ed Schultz, then there's Vandenheuvel trying to tuck underneath, trying to pick up a few more spots as he has fallen back. Now, there's your top 5. You definitely need a scorecard to keep up with this one. A great race going on here at the Langlade County Fairgrounds. Look at Vandenheuvel on the outside.
He just took that barrel, I believe.
Well, he's almost all the way off course there. Makes it through. Look at the dust now starting to come up. 21 trucks can kick up a lot of dust. That's Ed Schultz inside of Vandenheuvel. Vandenheuvel's going to take the position, and Vandenheuvel moves into 5th place now in front of Ed Schultz as he heads off of the oval one more time down into the rhythm section. Boy, this race is really close.
Watch how well they work in the bumps here, the moguls. Always so fascinating to me how the shocks are set up, the springs, how guys drive through those moguls. That's really challenging for off-road racer.
So there is the battle for third place. That's Dennis Verdon right in front of Bob Flanagan. And, oh, boy, did Verdon get a little nose heavy there, and it may have opened the door.
Well, he has really been aggressive in this race, Marty. I mean, we're keeping an eye on him. He's really doing some wild things out here.
Uh-oh, the leader, Gregoire, is pulling into the pits. Don Gregoire has got a problem.
He's holding his hand up for something. He's trying to give an indication he got some kind of a problem. Maybe it looks like he's trying to squirt out mud out of the radiator. That's what we're doing.
Well, then that would be the first indication that he has got an overheating problem. But Ivan, for the most part, he has been in the lead.
Well, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I don't know exactly how that can happen if that's what they're doing. In fact, it looks as though they're blowing mud out of the radiator.
Well, this is going to ruin any chance he had of winning this race. So Don Gregoire's hopes of taking the Class 13 championship here at Anago have just washed down onto the dirt of the Langlade County Fairgrounds. He's back underway, but that's got to be frustrating for the team. Now, there is Bruce Schultz. He is now your new leader. Second place is Dennis Verdon. Third place is Robert Flanagan. So as they head down through turn number 1, we still have a great race going on here at the True Value Off-Road Series. Don't go away. Back at the True Value Off-Road Series, I'm Marty Reed, along with Ivan Stewart. Rick Johnson is pit side. There are your 3 leaders. That's how close this race is. Bruce Schultz, Dennis Verdon, and Robert Flanagan, 1, 2, 3, right in front of you.
I tell you, Dennis Verdon is doing extremely well. He's been greening like crazy, but I also see smoke coming out of his car, Marty.
Well, those who watched the series last year, the Soda World Series of Off-Road Racing, remember Dennis ran Class 8. He has moved over into the Class 13 ranks, and so far doing very well. Oh, no. And the 13 of Steve Irish has another problem, and this one he's going to need a lot of help to correct.
And he's right in the apex of this corner coming up, Marty.
And look at what happened. Dennis Verdon takes advantage. Everybody else got out of the throttle too soon, and Verdon manages to take the lead before getting to that corner where the yellow flag was displayed, and Dennis Verdon goes from third to first, and that is aggressive driving.
He took advantage of the situation, I'll guarantee you.
So now the corner workers trying to get Steve Irish turned back over. Don't know if he's going to be able to continue in the race. He'll definitely be doing some body panel repair after the race is over, that's for sure. Now here is Verdon and Bruce Schultz. It's a drag race down the front straightaway. Schultz, can he retake the lead? Side by side through turn 1.
He's not giving up, Marty. No, he's not going to give up.
Clips off one of the barrels right there, what was left of it, and does retake the lead. So some very aggressive driving. It's Schultz, Verdon, and Robert Flanagan. Again, all 3 of them you can cover with a blanket.
Boy, Schultz really got through that mobile section really well. That's the best he's gone through there.
So now they work their way up through turn number 4. This one can be very tricky as well.
Marty, an interesting note is Schultz gets through the rough section because they have long wheelbase trucks. Dennis Verdon, the short wheelbase truck, is a little bit slower through the rough, but yet he's quick and agile through these tight corners. That's a big difference, different preference of different type of trucks you can choose out here.
The Steve Irish incident has been cleaned up here in turn 7, and look at Verdon trying to duck to the inside, Ivan.
Well, look at the big push Bruce Schultz's truck has got, and Dennis Verdon takes advantage of it.
Boy, he gets so wide. Dennis Verdon just blows by into the lead. So Verdon, your new leader here in Class 13 action at the True Value Off-Road Series. And now it'll be a question of whether or not Schultz can reel him back. Oh, and Schultz gets tail happy again. In fact, he's disappeared from the view.
Marty, I tell you, Dennis Verdon has done a fantastic job. He didn't get a good start. He came through the pack. He hasn't got his truck all beat up. He did a great job here.
Oh, there's Dan Vandenheuvel, who was in contention early, but now you can see he is at a dead stop and out of the race. Here is Verdon. He has really started to open up the lead here, and we are on the white flag lap.
Look how smooth he's getting through the moguls now. He's really doing well.
Oh, there's Bruce Schultz, our second place runner, is pulling over, so he too is dropping out of this race on the final lap. So here is Dennis Verdon. That's almost giving him a free ticket to victory lane. Robert Flanagan is the only man who has a chance to catch him. And Flanagan is within view. There he is, right on the left portion of your screen, but I don't think he has enough time.
But I see Dennis hanging on to the inside of the car here for some reason. He's driving with one hand. I noticed him grabbing a roll bar there for some reason to kind of hold himself in the seat.
I wonder if maybe his seatbelts came loose. We've seen that happen in many a different series, not just in off-road. But here he comes. It doesn't matter at this point. He is in a drag race to the finish line. This is how close it is. That's first and second. Flanagan, just not enough time as Dennis Verdon holds on to take the win in Class 13 action here at the True Value Off-Road Series in Antigo, Wisconsin. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll talk to our winner. Final results of Class 13 here at the True Value Off-Road Series. Dennis Verdon, Robert Flanagan, and Jeff Camp finished 1, 2, and 3. Then David Reitz, David Marks round out the top 5. There you see 6 through 10. Now, Rick Johnson has made his way over to victory lane. He's there with our winner, Dennis Verdon. Rick?
A strong battle for Class 13. The winner, Dennis Verdon. You tell us a little bit about your ride.
Well, it's a real tough track, and the clay is so slippery right now that it's hard to hold on with these mudder tires from BF Goodrich, but I wanted to keep the mudders on there because they wet the track down so much when you first start. You got to try and get out in the lead, so it took me about 3-4 laps to get out there, and a couple guys rubbing fenders, but I finally got out there to stay and got passed up once more, but I got her back.
Speaking about things that are coming back, here are the rain clouds, and it is getting very threatening. In fact, we already see some rain falling out on the racetrack as we get ready for Class 11S. Ivan?
Again, Marty, Volkswagen air-cooled motors, 1,585 cc's, all stock parts, minimum weight of 1,300 pounds. They make just about 50 horsepower.
And this is the entry-level class. As we take a look at the True Value starting field, number 1138 will be Larry Beyer from Slinger, Wisconsin. Mark Oberg from Eagle River, Wisconsin. He will be in the number 1141. Then it's John Hooven in the 1152. Little Chute, Wisconsin is home for him. He's 24 years old. Billy Scott Jr., age 19, one of the younger ones from Interlaken, Michigan. Then in the 1139, it's Gordon. They call him Golden Cudahy. He's from Appleton, Wisconsin. He's 53. Glenn Matthews will be in the 1102. Rhinelander, Wisconsin is home for him. Glenn is 30 years old. And then in the 1127, Dan Badeau. He is from Saginaw, Michigan, 38 years old. And here is the rest of the starting field, and we have 26 total vehicles. And Ivan, again, the question that we have to ask is, will we survive turn 1, especially starting 4 abreast?
And not only that, look how muddy the track is getting, Marty. That little bit of rain, this could really, really be a challenge for these guys.
Well, the pace truck is getting ready to pull off. 26 vehicles, and if you want to go racing, you can do this series very, very cheaply. I mean, you can buy one of these cars anywhere from, well, as little as $3,000 up to $10,000 and then run the whole 10-race series.
Great entry-level racing for somebody who's never got involved in the sport. They're off, Marty. It's like a good start.
Green flag flies. The rain, you can see how it has made the track very soggy. As we head for turn 1, can everybody make it through?
This is where the guys have got to really, really, really be on top of what gear they're in, or they get the maximum amount of horsepower out of that motor, because you're only working with 50 horsepower. You've got to get every bit of that little bit of...
Just when I was getting ready to say we were going to make it through, we have about a 5-car tie-up back at the entrance of turn number 2. Gary Behrens and John Wiggins currently duking it out for the lead, and then Mark Oberg is also squeezing in there in the 1131.
Boy, this is awfully, awfully slick. This is really, really something to drive on this stuff with a rear engine car. Front end is real light. Can't hardly get it around the corner.
So it is Behrens, then Wiggins and Oberg as they are running 1, 2, 3. And, oh, look at the jam up back there in that turn number 7. Everybody trying to work their way through. Tires here, it may be so wet, tires don't make a difference.
Well, they will. Oh, we got somebody else lost the whole wheel right here.
Tires make a big difference there. That is Kurt Gerald, as he was the victim of that pileup, and he is not able to continue. But here are the top 4, as you see Behrens, Wiggins, Oberg, and Glenn Matthews in 4th.
This is where a guy would want a little skinny, narrow tire, Marty, get right down, cut through that mud, and get down to anything that's dry.
Well, that's one way to cut through the mud. Kurt Gerald being dragged off the course, and his race day, of course, over. Now, let's go back to the lead pack, because it is Behrens in front of Wiggins right there. And, oh, no, look at Wiggins as he gets inside on turn number 4, and you've got yourself a new leader. So Wiggins in front of Behrens, then it's Oberg and Matthews battling it out for 3rd and 4th.
Again, you see the guys getting sideways. Anytime you see a car go sideways in off-road racing, they're killing time. You've got to keep that car going forward. Always got to be in line with the racetrack.
And And look out now, as that appears to be Mark Oberg trying to put a pass on second place Gary Behrens, but not able to make it stick at this point. And that has allowed our leader, John Wiggins, to open up a bigger lead. Now, Rick Johnson is caught up with Kurt Gerald. Rick?
Kurt, you're in here with a broken rear wheel. What happened out there?
Class 4 ran just before we did, and they left one big hole in that corner. I just come in too hot and hit the hole too hard.
Did you break the wheel or the spindle?
Broke the brake drum.
So came in a little bit too high. You can see he dug the whole suspension system, breaking the brake drum, ending his day.
Action back out on the race course. There is your leader, John Wiggins, and there's the battle for second. That's Gary Behrens and Mark Oberg, and Behrens on the inside. He's going to make it.
That's the typical example of Mark using every bit of his suspension up. When it bounced up in the air like that, he used every bit of that little bit of travel he has.
And now here comes Oberg trying to pass him back into turn number 4, and it looks like he's going to make it stick there. So this second place is being swapped back and forth just about every corner.
That was a good move. We've seen a lot of passion in that corner. That's a great place to pass.
Well, Oberg has managed to get a little bit of breathing room now, but it won't last probably for long. The clouds are still threatening here at the True Value Off-Road Series. Stay with us. We'll be back with the finish of this race. Along with Ivan Stewart and Rick Johnson, I'm Marty Reed, and there you can see the rain has really begun to pour down here. And that is leader John Wiggins, and he is pulling over to the side of the road. And he has now been passed, as it looks as though he is out of this race, Ivan.
No telling what could have happened. Usually we get some kind of indication, maybe a transmission or an engine or something just let go.
So there is Mark Oberg, your new leader, and look right behind that is Dan Badeau trying to dive underneath Corey Friday, and he does with a puff of smoke, Ivan, but a new second place in Dan Badeau right behind our leader, Mark Oberg.
That was a great pass. We got a major problem with the motor here. It looks like I'm sure it's the same thing. We're getting mud in that air intake, and that motor's getting hot.
Well, will he be able to make it to the finish line? This is going to get very interesting here in Class 11S. Oh, and Friday and Badeau get together. They go very wide through turn number 8, but they're able to hold on to their positions as it's still Badeau second, Corey Friday third. Here is the final turn number 9, and look at how soupy this track has gotten.
Boy, that is really slick. Really hard to get the cars around a track like that.
Now, notice our leader, Mark Oberg. He's got that fan, Ivan.
Well, that's an interesting fan that the guy has put on there, Mark's put on, just to keep the mud out of his face. The mud blows into the fan, turn it the other direction, blows out of your face.
Oh, but it can't blow Dan Badeau out of his face because Badeau's blowing by him, and he looks like he's going to take the lead. Can he hold on to it? No, he's going too high. So again, the wet racetrack, and now there's Corey Friday, as these three are literally slip-sliding all over this race course, and it looks as though Friday is trying to duck underneath Badeau. Meanwhile, Oberg holds on to the lead.
And Dan Badeau has really got a problem, Marty. He's really blowing some smoke out there.
But he's managed to hold on to second place in front of Corey Friday. Look at this nose-to-tail race. And boy, Friday takes a way, way wide line.
That's a corner we keep talking about. They got two different lines, but I believe he blew it on that one. He just lost way too much time.
So now it's a drag race back up onto the oval portion. That'll be turn number 6 right here when they come up on the oval. And this turn 7 has been one of the telltale factors. People have been going way wide, and here goes Badeau.
Big push, big push.
So our new leader, as Badeau gets under the pushing vehicle of Mark Oberg, and now Dan Badeau will be kicking some mud back up into the fan of Mark.
Man, I'll tell you what, Marty, I'm afraid that his motor's not going to make it. Plus, if you notice, Dan Badeau has not got goggles. He's got a major, major trouble here with mud in his face.
Well, as long as he doesn't get behind anybody anymore, that may not be as big a problem. Look at the battle, second and third. Corey Friday trying to reel in second place, Mark Oberg. And boy, for all the smoke that Badeau is billowing out of that motor, he seems to be able to hold on to it. Look at how wide these cars are going.
That could be just an oil leak. Hopefully it's just a little bit of an oil leak and he won't have a problem. But the other thing you're talking about, the mud in his face, he's got mud in his face from his own tires, open wheel cars.
Glenn Matthews there in 4th place, putting pressure on Corey Friday for 3rd. That's the best battle on the race course right now. Oh, and that is Ed Holtker. He has shredded the tire. He was running in 16th position. Now we're on the white flag lap. Badeau has the lead. He's coming up on lap traffic at this point. Mark Oberg is still in second, but well back at this point. And now it's a matter of can he nurse this motor home, and he may make a liar of you, Ivan.
He may do it. It looks like he's going to make it to me. He's only got 3 or 4 more corners to go, Marty.
There is Oberg in second place. Then Corey Friday and Glenn Matthews still duking it out for third, and Matthews has gotten around Friday. Here comes the checkered flag for your winner as Dan Badeau, here he is, taking the win in Class 11S. He may not be able to see the checkered flag, but it's there through all the mud and all the smoke. Dan Badeau wins Class 11S here at the True Value Off-Road Series. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll talk to our winner here in Anago, Wisconsin. Off-Road Series. Let's check the final results in Class 11S. Dan Badeau and Mark Oberg and Glenn Matthews take the top 3 spots. Rick Johnson has made his way down to victory lane. He's caught up with a very soggy winner. Rick?
A very muddy but happy Dan Badeau, winner of the 11S. Defending champion, you had a shower right before your race. Did that make you change your strategy at all?
Well, a little bit. When you're in the back of the pack, and you got to come from the back, and everybody's throwing mud at you. It's not easy, you know. We did it, but I don't like doing it though.
Everybody has equally prepared cars, but you seem to stand out and had quicker lap times.
Well, we cut the back tires a little bit more, hoping that was going to help us out a little bit, and it did. But I don't know. I drive the corners a lot deeper than everybody else, and I got a lot of seat time in the other 2 cars. Maybe that's the advantage. I don't know, it's hard to say.
Well, time now for us to get ready for Class 9-10 as the sun is finally breaking through again. And a very special salute by one of the racers in this 12-car field. Jeff Probst lost his best friend, fellow racer Dan Elwell. He died this past winter. And on the hood of the car, Probst has dedicated the 1994 race season to his best friend, Dan Elwell. On board now, this is our camera with Rick Welch, car number 911. Rick, one of the California contingent. What a view this could be, as it is going to have a lot of mud on it. And what's Class 910 all about, Ivan?
Well, Marty, these are unlimited buggies. Co-rider's optional, maximum of 1,650 cc's, and these make about 150 horsepower.
Let's take a look now at the Chevrolet starting field. The number 922, can he do it again? Todd Attic looking for 7 in a row. Jeff Probst, we talked a little bit about Jeff. He'll be in the 099. He's from New Lenox, Illinois. Then in the 911, you saw his onboard camera, Rick Welch from Lancaster, California. Rick, 36 years old. Number 107, Jim Struble, one of the Pennsylvania contingent. He's from Derry, PA. And the number 937, that's Randy Eller. He's from Taylorville, Illinois. He's 35 years old. Tom Schwartzberg, 903 is the car number. He's 51 years old, a hard racer from West Bend, Wisconsin. And Jeff St. Peter, he's very good in this class. Port Washington, Wisconsin at age 31. And take a look at the rest of the field. And again, now we're in that transition time as we're getting ready for the start of this 9-10 race, where the track is beginning to dry out, but there are going to be some spots that are going to be extremely wet.
That's right, Marty. And remember, these little cars have really got some horsepower. They really run. This is much more of a driver's class. Not entry level. These guys can really drive.
Yeah, the cost also goes up with every cubic inch that you put under the hood. And there is the green flag as it flies into turn number 1. And look on board with Rick Welch. Oh, my.
That gives you a good indication why guys don't want to get back in that dust.
That's Don Ponder on the left in the yellow car in front of Jeff Probst. Ponder through the rhythm section. Oh, and he stuffs it head first and goes over.
Oh, Marty, he was every bit of the suspension up. The front end just dove into that next post. Most could hurt.
And that's why we call it the rhythm section. If you get out of sync, this is what happens.
That's exactly what he did. He got going pretty well there. A little bit too high off that, bottomed out, dug the nose of the car in, and over he goes.
When you're 6 feet tall, that's the kind of hit that makes you about 5'5". It hurts that much. Hopefully everything's okay. We'll check on Don's condition. Now there is your top 3, Jeff Probst, Dan Badeau, and Todd Attic. And yes, Badeau, the same one who just won our last race. Several of these racers jump in several different cars so that they can maximize their racing weekend. Now, it looks as though Badeau is going to challenge Jeff Probst through the rhythm section.
His car's working a little bit better, it looks like. Even though Jeff Probst has got a tremendous amount of experience, it looks looks like Dan's car is handling those moguls better.
So it is Probst and Badeau nose to tail through turn number 4 and heading for 5. And now here's Rick Welch. He is in 4th place right now. Whoa, look at the dirt that he has taken. He is right behind Todd Attic there.
That makes it really, really tough to race.
You should be familiar with this. You've eaten a few pounds of dirt in your day.
Let me tell you about it. I sure have. I don't like it either, buddy.
Here is the battle for the lead. Jeff Probst still in